The car turned a corner, and a shadowy outline of a small town appeared in the distance. The buildings seemed old and abandoned, but everything looked intact. The mist thickened as they approached. "There it is! See? I told you it was here!" Jenna exclaimed. "Yeah, but where is everyone?" "It looks deserted," Eric responded nervously. They pulled into the town's main street. The buildings were still, windows dark, and no one was in sight. Dust hung in the air. The sound of the car's engine was the only noise. "It's like time just stopped here," Jenna whispered. Jenna and Eric stepped out of the car and walked down the empty street. The town looked frozen in time. Shops stood still. A school bell was rusted. A newspaper fluttered in the wind, but there were no people. "Hello? Is anyone here?" Eric called out. His voice echoed, but there was no response. The air was thick with silence, amplifying the sound of their footsteps. Maybe everyone left, or maybe this is just some old ghost town. "Let's check it out," Jenna suggested. They explored the town. Jenna picked up an old newspaper from a bench. The headline read, "Town Festival Canceled," but there was no date. Eric walked to a diner. The door creaked open. Inside, everything was in place, food still on tables. But there was a layer of dust over everything. "It's like they were here one minute and gone the next," Eric observed. "Look at this. There's no date. This newspaper could be from yesterday or 20 years ago," Jenna said, reading the paper. Jenna set the paper down and walked over to a post office. Inside, she saw letters stacked on the counter, waiting to be sent, as if everyone just vanished mid-task. As the sun began to set, strange things started happening. Shadows flickered at the edge of the screen. Distant whispers were heard, though no one was around. Jenna looked increasingly uneasy. "Do you feel that? Like someone's watching us?" she asked nervously. "It's just your imagination. There's no one here," Eric said, looking around. As they walked through the town square, lights in the old buildings flickered on and off, though there was no electricity. A bell rang faintly from a distant church tower. "I'm not imagining it. Something's wrong here, Eric. We need to leave." Jenna panicked. They rushed back to their car, but the town began to change around them. The buildings started to fade, their edges blurring as though dissolving into the mist. The road they drove in on disappeared, swallowed by fog. "Where's the road? It was right here," Eric said frantically. "The town, it's disappearing," Jenna screamed. The town started vanishing piece by piece. Streets crumbled into mist, the diner faded into nothing, and the buildings collapsed into the fog. They raced through the dissolving town, trying to escape. "Run! Don't stop!" Eric panted. They ran toward what was left of the town, but soon there was nowhere to go. They found themselves back at the town square, surrounded by the last remnants of the place as it vanished into thin air. "It's all gone. Everything is gone," Jenna cried. Suddenly, they heard faint voices, whispers of the townspeople, echoing from the mist. The whispers grew louder, as though the lost town was calling to them. "It's like they're still here, trapped somehow," Eric said, shaken. The camera zoomed in on the last structure standing, a clock tower frozen at midnight. As they looked up, the clock chimed eerily, and the tower began to fade, taking the last traces of the town with it. Just as the town faded completely, Jenna and Eric ran, racing toward what was left of the road. The fog begins to clear, and they find themselves back on the highway. Jenna, breathless. "Did that just happen?" Eric, stunned. "I don't know, but we're leaving. Now!" Visual. They jump into the car and speed away, leaving the empty, misty landscape behind. The camera lingers on the foggy road, then slowly pans up to reveal the sky turning dark. Closing scene, the return. Visual. As they drive away, the screen fades to black. The distant sound of the clock tower chimes once more, faint but clear. The camera slowly fades back to the now empty road. Narrator. Ominous voice, some places are forgotten for a reason. The town may be gone, but its memory remains. And for those who wander too close, it may just come back. Visual. The screen fades to black. The sound of a faint whisper is heard before the credits roll. End.